a lot going on, technical difficulties all day long. How are you?
I am good. I just got to Vegas.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and we were like, we have to be there. I was hoping. Yeah, and then I was like, oh, I made it. But then this hotel, apparently you have to use their Wi-Fi. You can't use your network, because I was like, oh, they will not let me do anything.
Oh.
I made it, so I'm very happy. The highlight of my day so far.
You made it. I'm happy you made it. It's good to see your beautiful face.
Yours too.
Welcome to the show. Thank you. Thank you. I missed you.
You know, I was thinking, it's so crazy. It's almost your birthday again. And I said last year that I just can't forget to give you. I'm like, I'm not going to pass it off as this year's gift. I'm going to give you 2 gifts.
Oh, I get 2 gifts? Oh,
Yes.
I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I'm still waiting on last year's gift. No, That's fine. That's fine. Thank you. But for those that don't know, Melanin Vibes is a show created to promote the emotional and mental wellness of women of color, specifically women of faith. And Victoria, you joined us, I think, like episode 2 or 3. You were one of the beginning episodes. Listen, it's a running theme with these technical issues because we had a full-blown conversation, a whole episode, and I left the room and was like, where's the live? It's gone. The show was gone. So we're doing it again because it was such a great conversation. Hi to everyone out there watching. Victoria's got some people joining us. For those that don't know, Victoria is a woman of God, an actress, a wife, a writer, an editor, a rapper, every woman. She does some of it all. So we're glad to have you here. So we like to start the show off with a thing called Thinking Baps Are Thankful, Victoria. So, as a Black American princess, what is something you are thankful for on today?
Well, one thing I'm definitely thankful for is getting here safely.
Amen.
The closer I got to here, the crazier the driving got. I was like, okay, this is, but, and also just thankful to have made it through 2020 and 2021. 2021
Yes.
own ways were just crazier than 2020. So
Yeah.
I'm very thankful to have made it through there, and just for my church family and my husband. There's a lot. Those are all the things that
That's good. Gratitude that's a good thing every single day. No, and I am thankful for you. What am I thankful for on today? Yeah, I'm thankful for life, thankful for friendships, I'm thankful for peace of mind. Those are the things I'm thankful for on today. But just like you, I've been running, so I literally just got off the road. You know, I've been down in Atlanta, and this traffic.
Oh my God. Yes.
It's
starting to come back to.
It's just so
around the roads before.
Yeah, that traffic is just, this traffic is, I mean, it's worse than LA. Hands down. It's worse than LA.
They're very violent drivers.
Yes, they are.
Kill me, like, just to get
super aggressive.
I don't like driving in Atlanta. I would rather Uber or make my husband do it. So
no, yeah, working on that. Yeah, but for the last time we saw you, well, the last time I saw you on television was on Just Roll With It. I believe that was the show I saw you on the Disney Channel. So you are an actress out there in Hollywood doing your thing. My question for you is, what prompted the acting bug? Like, how did you get into this?
Okay, so if you do it for a long time, it's just like a relationship. You find different reasons why you love it. So when I was really little, before I ever acted, I always wanted to act so I could kiss a boy. I was like, oh, I'm a boy. That's how I'm going to do it. And then after a while, I lost interest in that, because that was like when I was young, like 4 or 5, because I just came out boy crazy. So,
oh, gotcha.
But by the time I was like 8 or 9, I was like, it's the costumes. I got to get in those costumes. It's all about the costumes. Then I forgot all about it. And by the time I started doing theater, it was just like for the stories, and just like being on stage and all that. And then I was like, I never get to kiss a boy or wear costumes. Like my costumes are always like streetwear. Like this is kind of crazy. So then I started doing musical theater, which is where all that happens.
Okay, nice.
Like especially the costumes, and I got to be lifted up. I was like, because I'm a thicker girl, so and I remember my first lift partner was just a skinny, very bony guy, and he was just lifting me over his head, and I was like, this is great. And then I went on and did that for a while. Then I came to LA on a whim, just kind of like, I got to do something else. I'm going to go either to LA and just get into a whole different thing, which is film and television, or I'm going to move to New York and do theater. So I had a friend who moved out here. He wanted to do, I don't know what he was doing out here. I guess finance. But he just wanted to come, and he was like, come. And I was like, well, at least I'll know somebody. So that's good. And now it's just, again, back to the stories.
Okay.
Yeah, I love stories. And I'm trying to think of how to write. I admire writers so much because I cannot complete a short, like I can't even write a 1-minute thing. I'm like, this, I don't know. But I'm going to probably take some classes because within myself, what I have, I don't have.
But that's something that you're interested in, starting to write your own projects and things like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, if you want to be seen in certain lights, sometimes you have to write it or produce it. I wouldn't, I know there are people who do write, they have their own things they want to write. They don't want to write, to do my ideas. So, I'm interested in doing that for sure. And I started, but I don't know how to finish, so that's where I'm gonna go learn.
But I know you're gonna figure it out. That's one thing I know, that you're gonna figure it out eventually.
Yes.
So being in Hollywood, like you came out to LA, you got started, got into this business, and I've asked you this before, like the rejection and the disappointments. Like, how do you handle that? How do you manage hearing no when you really want to hear a yes?
You just move on. Just move right on along. I can't even, I might be like, I just auditioned for something last week and I was like, oh, I did a good job. I hope they cast me in it. And then after that was like I turned it in on Monday, Tuesday, today, but by Wednesday, I kind of forgot about it. Like, oh, well, I was hopeful, but I also had different auditions I had to do and other things. Got to stay busy and have a life. Like, I've seen actors spin out where they are just acting. That's all they do. That's all they do. That will drive you nuts. Like, you have to have other things that fulfill you. Yeah.
So is there a role that you really, really want, though? Like, what would be your dream role?
I think, I don't know, like, it's funny because when you audition for stuff, you kind of like let your imagination go and you're like, this, even if it's a small role, you're like, this could be, and then they could do that. But ultimately, I would say like a sitcom, just like, not necessarily a series regular, definitely not the like lead, but like, I always thought of myself like the best friend. Like, I would love to play the best friend on a show. And I would love to do anything with Wanda Sykes.
Okay. She's amazing.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
No, there's different people out there. Niecy Nash, I love.
So comedy is your thing.
Huh?
Comedy is really your thing.
I love comedy. I just do. I'll do drama. It'll be fine. It takes a lot of energy. People say comedy's harder, but for me, all that crying, it's just a lot.
It's draining. All that crying is a little bit too draining.
It's a lot. If I see I have a scene that's got crying in it, I'm like prepping for days.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just like, what makes you sad? What sad thing happened to you? But people who know me know the way I deal with sadness is through comedy. So.
Yeah, not crying. Like
I do cry, but it's more like my mashed potatoes, something really trivial.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that used to make my mom like upset. She'd be like, "Why? What? Somebody just died. You were fine. You lost your key. You're losing it." I'm just like,
well, we all process things differently. That's why I love you.
Thank you.
So listen, there is something that you do that I find really interesting. You are a Christian rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about that. What's the name of your group?
Theoria. I do know the name of it. Theoria. Yeah. And it's me and my husband. We both came from rap groups in the past. His was more successful than mine, but that's okay.
That's okay.
I didn't have the heart for it. I just was like, oh, we have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Like at the time I was just like, enough. But and a lot of studio time. A lot. Mm. So that's just how it was at that time. Now everybody, like with our last album, we put it out at home during the pandemic.
Right.
So that's more my speed. I will go to the studio, but like hours and days in there, it's just a lot for me. But yeah, we do Christian rap. We started doing that. We just were like, we both want to do music. He was producing a lot of beats. And then, the ones that caught my eye, I was like, oh, okay, I can get on that. And I think our styles complement each other, Mm-hmm. So we put out our album, Start of a Legacy, and it's mostly Christian. There are a couple of songs that are just like songs that we made, but I love doing that. It's just we like Lecrae. I don't know if you heard of him, but
I like Lecrae.
Christian rapper. Yeah. We're no Lecrae yet, but
you're getting there.
That you can have like a good sound and it be like really popping, but still be about God. Mm-hmm. Is sometimes it's not necessarily about God the way the hymns are, but just about your Christian walk.
Right.
Yeah. Because how many ways can you say, I love you, God, I worship you, I praise you? Especially if you don't sing it. You can say it in a lot of ways if you got the vocals for it. But
right.
But with talking about our Christian walk, I feel like there's always going to be material for that. We're constantly doing it, and people relate to it because there are a lot of Christians who, and you get to those points sometimes where you're just like, oh, I don't feel like worshiping, which is something we sometimes talk about too, which, you just have to push through, but it is good to know on your own, because sometimes when you're in church you might feel like, oh, I feel this way, and people are like, no, I've never been there. It's just like,
no, but yeah, you have to be transparent, and that's like one of the points of this show, just showing other young ladies out there, like, we go through real stuff, like we love God, but there's other things that we love as well, and we have bad days, bad moments, we're not always feeling the best. But do you write your own raps?
Yes, I do. A lot of people think that my husband writes my raps, and that's Theo. He's the other side of Theoria. So you've heard
Hey, Theo.
So, but a lot of people think he writes my raps. They just assume it automatically. They're just like, oh, you did a good job writing that for her. I'm just like, nobody.
I don't think so.
Don't ask me. They just assume it, and I'm just like, I can write. So, and I think that's important. If you write, you can rap other people, have people write for you, but it's not gonna, it's a performance at that point. It's not gonna all as you writing it to me. No shade to people who do that.
Right. But it's really your journey. So, it doesn't really connect if it's not authentic. But why is it so difficult? So going back to the acting, writing thing. So why is that difficult? Like, what is the difference? Explain to me. How is it different?
I think it's just writing dialogue. Like, I think I've finally broken through the point. It used to be I could write a simple story arc, but everybody would just sound like a robot in it. I'd be like, I don't know why these people, like, who talks like that? And then I just started listening to people, so I made it through that. But now it's just wanting to make more complex pieces, I guess. Okay. And I need to rewind back and just be like, just a 1 minute thing, just a 2-minute thing is fine. Like, I want to write like a feature. Like, I'm like, gotta start with training wheels. So that's because I want to be like I wrote a show. I'm writing a show, and I wrote like the first season in one night.
Okay.
But go back and make them sound like humans again, and then I have to make them have like, you know, make sure it's never boring, but the story is there. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know, and plus just trusting that I'm doing the right thing.
Okay.
So I feel like maybe it's not as bad as I think it is, but at the same time, I have never done it. I've never shown anybody my work to be like, does that sound right? So
but see, that's one of those things.
Yeah.
You got to just step out there and show your work to someone, and you'll never know. Like, they may say, like, this is awesome, this is amazing. So writing your own raps, though, you find that to be a lot easier. It's a better process.
Yeah, because it's more like taking your thoughts and putting them down that you're thinking. Like, if I, like, almost like a diary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not for, I mean, it is for other people, but it's like just your perspective. Like, when you're writing, you have to think about different perspectives because there's more than one character, you know? Right. But when you're writing a song, you're the only character.
Gotcha.
And it's just your point of view.
Okay. So, Theoria, where can we listen? Where can we purchase? How can we support Theoria and hear some of your music?
Well, first of all, we have a few videos on YouTube, just a handful. We're working on putting out some more, but we also edit them and everything. So, and we shoot them. We do it all right now. So it takes time. And then also we're on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music. Yes.
Okay.
All platform. Not one, but I won't name that one. So there's no.
Okay. We'll leave that one out. But I checked it out, and I enjoyed the music. I already told you that. Like, I enjoyed the music, but I hope everybody goes and downloads that music. I want to transition into something because you brought up a good point about how some days, like, this walk with Christ can be a little difficult. My question to you is, like, how has your relationship with God evolved over the past, like, few years?
Well, I think just over the past few years. Okay.
I mean, you can.
I was gonna say, I think that whenever most people come to God, they want something out of it, right? They're hope, or they need some help or something, you know, or they've gone through a bad time or whatever. So there's that part. Then just, you know, being like, okay, I have to do these things, like feeling more religious about it, like, oh, you know, I need to pray at this time, and I gotta say this, and I can't do that, and it's just like, okay, well, then, you know, that got a little bit overwhelming, and does get overwhelming at times, but I would say the point that I was at last month, because I'm at a different point this month, was just about, and it was about a year-long journey, or maybe even 2, of just learning. Just wanted to learn more about God, learn more about Christ, figure out what's going on. Like, I really am a skeptic. I'm like so anything anybody tells me, I'm always like, Google that. So I started reading the Bible.
Okay.
This past summer. And because I feel like, you know, some of the frustrations that Christians come across is that people are telling them, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I just wanted to see what the story arc is, and what is literally in there. So I can, when I'm listening to people, be like, okay, that's something that you're just pulling out.
Yeah.
Right, because I know the Bible. And I'm only at Numbers because Leviticus was a beast. Actually, Genesis was a beast too. But because a lot of there's so many stories in Genesis that it feels like that could be, you might think of that is the whole Old Testament.
That's it. in itself. Yeah.
Because that book goes on. And Leviticus is a hard read.
Yeah.
But I had read it before, and I was just like, stop building stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we get it. We get the measurements. Like, stop. But this time I had a better understanding. And now I'm going into numbers, and I'm excited to read it. Like, at first I was like, okay, we just did a bunch of, like, measurements. Now we're going to do a census. I've had enough. But this time I'm ready. And I'm just a different place spiritually to be able to do that.
Right.
And because you'll be surprised how many Christians have never read the Bible.
Oh, you don't have to. I know. There's plenty of them who have not read it at all, never cracked open the book. And something I like is reading different versions of it. So, like, I love the Message Bible. I've really gotten into like reading that daily because it's just in layman's terms. It talks in today's language and it's easier to understand. Like, I've kind of gone through King James and NIV and all of those. So the Message Bible really just puts it into it. And it's surprising that it does change your perspective when you read different interpretations of the Bible. Like, I never thought of it that way. So that's awesome that you're taking the time, like, because a lot of people don't take the time and say, let me see what the word says for itself. They just say, oh, so-and-so said to do this, and they do it. So hats off to you for taking the time to study.
You got to
That's
know.
what the Bible says, study to show ourselves approved.
It helps you so much to just, like, show the love side of things and take some things with, I guess, I don't know. It depends if you're a fundamentalist, you know, or not, you know, because, like, you know, some things I say, okay, I might have, you know, maybe, like, especially, like I said, just read Leviticus, so I'm like, okay, this might be some stuff that was going on right there with those people at that time right now, you know what I mean? But right. I'm going to find out if it relates to me. And as a Christian, it does, but, like, you know, how much? Of course, I'm not going out slaughtering goats. And
right.
You know, it's just not going down.
Right. No, we're not.
You can give grace when you're reading in that way, then you can give grace along the way as you're reading, I think. You know, and not be, like, so hard on yourself. And I think that people are hard on other people or hard on themselves. So it's kind of like when they're like, hey, I can't do that. You can't do that. You know what I mean? So then you'll be like, yeah, you're in a different place in your walk. That's okay.
Yeah, no, that's totally what it is. So besides Lecrae, what's another artist that you love listening to?